Last Saturday we were dealing with the subject of subtle form of pamada and apamada. We ended at that stage, and we're going to pick up where we left off. As the saying goes, kusala karane ataitanam. If we are in the practice of lofty discipline, not being able to stand firmly, calmly, the practice which is blameless and brings about positive result, then such a thing is known as anatitanam, not being able to stand firmly. Now, when we say stand firmly, means not ordinary standing, but standing in a very firm manner, not being affected, not moving, steadfast manner, an extraordinary steadfast manner. That is what is meant by this standing, adaitanam. So not being able to stand firmly in this way is anatitanam, and the corollary to that is adaitanam, that is standing firmly and calmly, quietly. Today we shall continue with the subject, both from the theoretical and practical aspects. Buddha has given this expression, anadaitana, adaitana. In the commentaries have added this extra expression, kusala karane, that is in the practice of skillful deeds. Standing firmly in the practice of skillful deeds, and not standing firmly in the practice of skillful deeds. That is what the commentaries have added. So the problem is whether we are able to stand firmly on the side of skillful deeds or not. In what way is it going to be? So nothing special has been given. However, since we are concerned with the practice of Satipatthana, we apply this to the practice of Satipatthana. How we stand firmly on the side of the practice or not. People stand firmly, energetically, to succeed in education and business, economy, health, social matters, and so on. They stand firmly on the side of education and so on. So in order to be able to stand firmly on the side of whatever you are undertaking, first of all you must be able to instill faith and confidence in the undertaking, leading to zeal or desire to undertake the practice. First of all, one should understand the result of the practice or undertaking. Understanding that, then we can stand firmly on this faith. There should not be any change in the faith. This will lead to strong desire, and in which one should be able to stand firmly, wishing to realize the benefit, to make it happen, and to succeed. With the strong zeal, standing firmly on the side of the strong zeal, we stand firmly on the exertion of right energy, such as the initial application energy, to know the object, and then the liberating energy to overcome difficulties such as pain and slackness, and the energy in stages to reach the goal. So one should be able to stand firmly on the side of exertion of energy without change, steadfastly. Same thing also applies as regards the activation of sati, one should be able to note firmly, steadfastly, every arising object as it arises, not to miss even a minute object. One should be fully prepared to note, and every time one notes, one should note it so that one's dirty mind is as close as possible to the object of meditation, as though the noting mind sinks into the object. In this way, one stands firmly on the side of the practice of mindfulness. Now, as much as we are able to sustain mindfulness, we are bound to know the object, sink into the object, so that the noting mind falls calmly, collectedly on the object of attention. Then we are said to be firmly established, or standing firmly without moving on the side of this concentration. And when it comes to panya, wisdom, also knowledge, standing firmly on the side of the cultivation of insight, for the basics, throughout progressing along the stages of insight, and standing firmly in this way. So though ordinary expression has been given, such as standing firmly, since we are concerned with the practice, this should be applied to the practice of satipatthana. In short, standing firmly on the side of apamada, heedfulness, in the practice of omission and commission. Let us say, omission, things which should be abstained. Knowing things which should be abstained, we abstain from doing this. And knowing that things are to be observed, we observe it, not failing to observe it. In this way we stand firmly on the side of heedfulness in the practice of omission and commission. So if instead of standing firmly on the side, being established on the side of such activities, positive activities, one is said to be failing in such practices, and this is pamada. And if one is able to stand firmly, becoming established on the side of these positive actions, activities, then you are said to be subtle apamada, heedful in a subtle way. When we stand firmly, or becoming established, we can become established on a variety of objects or just one object. For those who find it difficult to stand firmly or becoming established, in this case establishing mindfulness, on a variety or many objects, it is easier to become established on a single object, as has been given by the Buddha in the Samyutta Nikaya, the book of kindred sayings, Paṇḍitā Sutta, the discourse on establishment, beginning with Eka Dhamma. The Buddha said that monks, for those, one should be able to become established on one kind of Dhamma. That's one stage. And if one is able to become established in one thing, one is said to be able to accomplish 5 controlling faculties. In other words, 5 controlling faculties will become established if one can establish oneself in one stage or one thing, one Dhamma. So in this way, the Buddha has given this discourse so that instead of becoming established on many things and a variety of objects, one should be able to, one can also establish one's noting mind on one single object. Instead of becoming established on many objects, it is easier to establish oneself on one object, and by doing so, one is said to be to have accomplished or to have established oneself in the 5 controlling faculties. such as having faith, many kinds of faith, such as worshipping sun or the moon, the trees, the rivers, and so on, or gods in heaven, all sorts of beliefs. Then such people may also change their belief from one thing to another, because they are not steadfast, they are not established firmly in one belief. They jump from one belief to another, not being able to stand firmly in one thing. If the faith is not so firm, no steadfast, then there cannot be this steadfast energy, mindfulness or concentration. Because the basic faith is not correct, the other things cannot become correct. If there's no controlling faculties of faith, then one will be jumping from one faith to another. Most people are like this. It is alright if one is able to listen to or accept some kind of faith which is prudent, that means which is the cause and effect. Its nature is reasonable, is prudent, it has its cause and effect. And this cause and effect, this prudence also can be first on the theoretical basis, then with the by discussing with wise people, one can cultivate knowledge. Then one can become established in the right faith and acceptance. Only with the right faith you will be able to listen in the right way. Then you become established on the right side. Otherwise, people can just cling to one view, such as the effects, all the results cannot happen without causes. Nothing is causeless. Everything is due to cause and condition. So, if you don't accept this cause and condition or conditionality, then also you are holding wrong view, deity. Or even if you accept conditionality, if there is no relevancy in conditionality, such as the relevant cause giving rise to relevant effect, then also you will be holding wrong view, such as view in the Supreme Being, that the Supreme Being is creating all these animate and inanimate things in the world. And in this way, not knowing the relevant cause and relevant effect, one is taking what is known as Visamahituka-deity, fictitious cause view, viewing some cause in a fictitious thing, that some fictitious thing is causing things to exist or happen or to come into being, such as Visamahituka-deity, fictitious cause view. So only when one is able to see the right conditionality, that is relevant effect giving rise to relevant cause giving rise to relevant effect, then one will be holding the wrong view and then the right view. So first of all, it is necessary to be able to understand, to become established in the conditionality, right conditionality. Then first of all, then one should have faith in this view, awakening the faith and strengthening this faith with the practice, so that the faith which is instilled in you will develop. Cultivating knowledge, progressing along the path, then one will come to the acceptance and resolution that this is correct. And especially when one comes to the end of the path, there will be this firm resolution as to the correctness of the practice. So, one is necessary to understand this right conditionally. Then only there will be faith, and there will be chanda, and this kind of faith will not be shaken by anything, because one is firmly established in faith in the right way. When one is believing from hearsay without the practice of Satipatthana in the right way, you are believing what other people say, or from the books, or from the teachers, or from your own imagination or thoughts. You will not be able to find or discover the true quality, the correct qualities, essential qualities, sabhavas. Even if you are able to become absorbed in mundane, worldly jhanas, the knowledge that you gain through absorption will not lead to the understanding of the true knowledge of sabhavas. Not to mention the kind of knowledge that you gain from books or hearsay. You will be able to see the sabhavas, the essential qualities of the natural characteristics. However, most people rely on books and own imagination, intellectualization, intellectual knowledge, thinking that they are the real knowledge. In the text is given that even if one becomes absorbed, one attains the mundane absorptions, jhanas, one will not be able to see the natural characteristics. That is what has been given in the text. What can be realized? The true realization is through your own mindfulness of every arising, noting things as they rise. According to the expression, Buddham Buddhato Pasati, note as it arises. Then you are bound to see the realities from the basics through the stages, such as through your own experiential knowledge, you will come to firm affirmation that the mind-body is correct. It is correct to that discernment of mind-body is correct. There is nothing but the mind and body. There is nothing but the conditionality, the cause and effect. And besides this cause and effect, besides this mind and body, there is nothing else. Things are arising and passing away. They are not stationary for even a moment. And they are unsatisfactory. Whatever is impermanent cannot be satisfactory. They have no guarantee, no assurance, nothing dependable. They are not reliable. They are not controllable, not manageable. They are not self, atta. They are arising at their will, not at your will. So you come to accept such realities, especially at the fleeting momentary nature of experience, the old giving place to the new. Then you'll come to accept more and more. So you come to acceptance of the conditionality, and so on. As for the knowledge that you gain, the intellectual knowledge that you gain from books and hearsay or teachers, this cannot be the real knowledge. But if there is a faith from the books and from what the books say and the teachers say, if you can awaken this develop this faith, saddha, with your own practice of mindfulness, then you will be able to realize the sabhavas from the basics through the stages. As much as you are able to understand these qualities, you will come to acceptance. And then resolution, acceptance and resolution, confirmation. Then this will build momentum. These mental states, positive mental states, will come to the stage of the controlling faculty, indriya. That means they will have a power of controlling other opposite states. And this will be from your own personal experience. You are testing it on your touchstone of your own personal experience. Even at the stage, even if others say that these observations are not correct, you will not accept what other people are saying. You will not believe in them, because you become established in the right thing, in a very firm manner, steadfast manner, unshakable, in an unshakable manner. Then, especially when you realize or experience of peace and happiness, your faith and confidence will become unshakable. It will come to the stage, it will possess the power of controlling faculty. And whoever comes and shake it, whoever comes and move, you will not be moved. Even if you are assured, guaranteed a lifetime wealth, or if you don't believe it, if you can move, shake your belief, or if you don't believe it, we will give you, say, a lifetime wealth, millions of dollars. Then, even then, you will not accept it. At this stage, only at this stage, otherwise you might accept it. So at this stage, you will not accept it, because your faith is unshakable, because you are standing established on the truth. And then you become established on the individual, the Buddha, who has given this truth. And also the practice, the method, this method is correct. You will come to acceptance, because with the practice you are eradicating these negativities such as passion, malice and delusion with your own practice, and you are testing it on the touchstone of personal experience. You come to full acceptance, affirmation, confirmation. In this way you come to acceptance by yourself through your own experience, and you will have unshakable faith in the Buddha, the Dhamma, that is your practice, and the Sangha, who with such practice has eradicated the negativities, kilesas, in a small way, and to some extent, and to full extent. So you will come to have faith in the Sangha. This is unshakable faith. You are said to become established in it. And unless and until you come to this stage, you will not have the real faith and confidence. So, with the sustained mindfulness of every arising, because the mindfulness is continuous, if you have no faith, you will be heedless in a subtle way. But if you have faith through your own personal experience, noting every arising continuously, sustaining mindfulness, then you'll be heedful in a subtle way, with this subtle form of apamada arising in you. This is your own. This will be found from your own personal experience. So, cultivating knowledge. What is the nearest cause? The nearest cause is the concentration, which you deepen. What is the nearest cause for deepening of concentration? Your mindfulness. You are activating your mindfulness in a sustained way. Why is your mindfulness sustained or selfless? Because you are noting. You are noting with energy. You are driving force. You are applying energy in order to drive your noting mind to the object, so that your noting mind is concurrent with the object of attention. You are applying the heroic energy. This is quite obvious. So, because of this energy, you are realizing this, the result of the benefit, the result of the practice. That also is due to your unshakable faith. So, if there's no practice, you will not be able to cultivate such controlling faculties. So, in this way, through the practice, through the realization of the truth, along the stages of insight, your positive states, which we have just mentioned, will come to possess the power of controlling faculty. And in order to do that, all you need is to become established in one thing, not many things. One thing only, one and the only one. Eka Dhamma or Eka Dhamma. This way, one should be able to become established on the right side of the Dhamma. And in order to do that, one should practice in such a way as to become established in these controlling faculties. Otherwise, one will become doubtful about the truth. There will be skeptical doubt arising with various kinds of thoughts, wrong faith, leading to wrong faith. Then you will be not on the right path, you will be on the wrong path, leading to suffering. If one cannot possess these controlling faculties, then there will be this lack of exertion. Virya also will be you will be in need of virya, in deficiency. You will not be able to exert energy, and even if you exert energy, you get easily exhausted. You become slack. Then you'll be wasting time in your life. If you are not able to exert energy, you will not be able to note rightly. If your mindfulness does not possess the power of controlling faculty, or if you cannot note, if you cannot activate your mindfulness to the extent of its controlling faculty, then you will be missing your objects. You will not be able to note them, you may overshoot them, or miss them, or fall short of the objects. Then if your mindfulness is not correct, is not strong enough to possess controlling faculty, you will not be able to control yourself. You will be out of control. Then you will not be able to concentrate your mind. If you cannot concentrate your mind on the object, then your noting mind will be removed from the object of attention. It will become restless, distraction, wandering, and with restlessness and worry, because they don't possess this samadhi, doesn't possess the power of controlling faculty. Then, because there is no concentration, there cannot be knowledge. If there is no knowledge, if one does not know, there will be only unknowing. There will be delusion, lack of clarity, moha, or ignorance, unknowing, simple unknowing, and knowing in a wrong way. In this way, one will be wasting time on ignorance and delusion, so that one will be walking on the wrong path, non-dhamma, adhamma, the road of non-dhamma. So one should understand that only when one is able to practice so as to possess these controlling faculties, then only one will be able to control one's life in a correct way, and then one will succeed in one's life. One will succeed. One will have control by having control on oneself. One will succeed by oneself. Only self-success is the real success. Only self-control. This will lead to self-control. So, when you are able to control yourself, then you will be able to realize peace in yourself and peace in others. These are the positive results. This little verse, you might say, or aphorism, has been given that once you are established in one thing, you will be established in 5 things, as given in the discourse on establishment, Paṇḍitā Sayadaw. But this kind of one thing must be the sure thing, not just many things, many uncertain things, but one certain thing. At this stage, one will be able to uplift one's life, and this establishment will become a cause for the upliftment of one's life. Namely, this Eka Dhamma. When you say Eka Dhamma, one stage, one thing, it sounds like a riddle, and we need to find an answer to this riddle, to solve this riddle. And the Buddha gave this riddle, at the same time he solved his own riddle, without waiting you to solve it. So the Buddha said that Katra Dhami, Eka Dhami. What is this one thing that one should be established? And the answer he gave was apamadi. That means heedfulness, apamada, or diligence. This is the one Dhamma, one thing in which one should become established. Whether you are monk, lady, man, woman, yogi. Though in the text is given this bhikkhus, monks, addressed to monks. Monks, what is that one thing in which one should become established? And the Buddha said, that's apamada. Although it is addressed, the Buddha addressed the monks, actually it applies to all practitioners or practitioners who are practicing this Dhamma, although they are not in robes, not just in robes, but anybody who is practicing this Dhamma is said to be addressed. So if one walks this path, one becomes bhikkhu. And if one is able to raise, or one is able to possess these positive states to the controlling power, then they will build momentum, they will multiply, they will become enhanced and become unshakable. And in this way the Buddha has given assurance. In the text is given this pamada and apamada. One is the reverse of the other. Apamada is the reverse of pamada, and pamada is the reverse of the opposite of apamada. Pamada in failure in the practice of skillful deeds, neglecting, not paying attention, heedless in the practice of skillful deeds. Or one can go further, laxity, slackness, and becoming sort of confused, even to the extent of madness, insanity. That's the extreme case of pamada. And apamada is a reverse of that. Not being alienated or not deviation, not deviating from sati, mindfulness. And what is that mindfulness? Applying, activating one's noting mind to the object of attention in a steadfast manner, so that the noting mind is always noting the object, not failing it, and sati is all the time being cultivated, activated. Such is apamada, noting continuously. And if one is not doing so, one is unmindful, not being mindful, losing mindfulness, that is pamada. So if one is able to be mindful all the time, this is apamada. In this way, one can differentiate these two things when it comes to the subtle form of pamada and apamada. If one is losing mindfulness or failure to activate mindfulness, apply sati, either because one is drunk. When one is drunk, one cannot be mindful. One loses mindfulness. One becomes uninhibited. Or if one has a disease, one is sick, too sick to be mindful, then also one can lose mindfulness. One can fail to activate mindfulness. Or if one falls from a height, one faints, then also one cannot be mindful. Or the reverse, another extreme is one is enjoying life too much. Like in America, for instance, I don't think it's much here. If you're enjoying life too much, then you will lose mindfulness, you will not be mindful. So all sorts of things there are reasons for losing mindfulness. And failure, negligence, heedlessness is pamada, and ravas, and the corollary is true. That is apamada is the corollary. So failure, as much as you fail in abstaining what should be abstained, you also may fail in observing what should be observed. Failure in omission and commission. That is pamada. And not failing, not neglecting, being heedful in this omission and commission, abstaining what should be abstained and observing what should be observed, is apamada. Now we are dealing with this subtle form of pamada and apamada. So if one's views or one's faith is not steadfast, it is shakeable, not unshakable, it's easily affected, easily moved, then due to uncertainty of views, uncertainty of faith, then one will be heedless in a subtle way, subtle pamada, failing in one's ambition and commission, in doing respectfully and carefully, which are the duties of the yogis, to note continuously. And this is how one must abstain from what should be abstained, avoid from unwholesome, unskillful things. This failure, negligence that we've been dealing with has been in many forms, many grades, many categories. The gross form, that is tertiary does, indulging in unwholesome deeds. That is, unwholesome deeds is the gross form of pamada. And also the medium form of pamada, leaving the mind uncontrolled in respect of sensual pleasures, indulging in pleasures of senses. That is the medium form of pamada. Now we are dealing with the mindfulness, so that this is subtle form of pamada if you lose mindfulness. So that the failure to do so is pamada, and not feeling is apamada. So we have to practice respectfully, carefully, in a steadfast manner, so as we become heedful yogis, subtle form of apamada, not allowing even the subtle form of kilesas to enter stream of consciousness. In this way, activate mindfulness in an unusual manner. So as for the Western yogis, as one reminder, that is, not all, but some of them tend to give priority to intellectualization, reflection, thinking, imagination, and which amounts to pamada, subtle form of pamada. In this connection, today one yogi saw Sayadaw and reported to him, saying that he or she had been used to the intellectualizing, indulging in thoughts and thinking that this is reflective knowledge, intellectual knowledge is the real knowledge. And now he or she realized that it is like a demon. So earlier on he might be thinking that the intellectual knowledge is real knowledge, but now he thought he see the truth that this is as bad as a demon. So in this connection, I would like to elaborate on this point, talk on this in the following day, how to note continuously and to have right attention, or straight attention, to be able to see the truth. But he is quite satisfied that one yogi was able to see the truth by saying to him that the intellectual knowledge is the real knowledge. That's all. That's all.